Hey everyone, it's Michael Kikle. I hope you're doing well today, and I have a review here for a book that I am totally stunned by. Just so you know, it's about 3:30 in the morning. I was up, I decided to finish this. I started it yesterday, and it was so bad it put me to sleep. But I found a total gem of trash. I've been in a Spider-Man mood. I've wanted to read some Spider-Man stuff. This basically killed that. But I have so much to say about it, dude. But like even the things I talk about, because I typically do spoiler-free reviews, typically I try to do that because my memory's not that great. This book was so bad it'll be burned into my memory for the rest of my life. And I kind of recommend it if you want a so bad it's good type of thing. This was one of the worst Spider-Man stories I've ever read in my life. It's called Spider-Man Fear Itself, but it's not like the Fear Itself event book that I just reviewed from like 2011, like 2 days ago, 3 days ago. It's not that. I thought it was. I guess when I bought that Fear Itself book, I don't know if I thought it was like a renaming reference back to the old Fear Itself, this book, but it's not. I guess not. I don't know what I was thinking, or that it was like the Spider-Man tie-in to that event, but it's not. This is from 1992. It's actually written by Jerry Conway, or Gary Conway. I don't know how we say his name. I think it's Gary. And Stan Lee did a little bit of scripting in here too, but the art is also done by Ross Andru, and apparently from what my small amount of research said, Ross Andru and Gary Conway used to have a little bit of like a run together for Spider-Man that was supposedly good, and this was kind of reuniting them for this project. It's a one-shot, 64 pages if I haven't said that already, and it's awful. It's genuinely awful. As I tell you things, I'm not joking about them. I'm dead serious about what I'm about to tell you. This book itself feels like it's one random thing after another, and it's so boring. No matter all the wacky shit I'm about to tell you about, it is such a boring story. But towards the end of it, dude, it is just absolutely hilarious. I laughed so hard when my wife was sleeping beside me that I shook the bed and she woke up and wondered what was going on. And I told her, I said, I gotta go make a video about this. It's too hot in here from where it was hot outside, and I'm not gonna be able to sleep thinking about this terrible ass book. So anyway, long introduction, but I want to get into this. Fear Itself, Spider-Man Fear Itself. This book starts off with World War II and Hitler talking to Baron Zemo, and I did not expect this book to kick off there. The art has a lot of gray, like a lot of gray backgrounds, gray skies. Pretty much in every panel of this book it's like that. Despite the art style not being that bad, the coloring's not that great. But Hitler's talking to Baron Zemo, talking about how he's like his kind of right-hand man, sort of, kind of. He mentions Red Skull in there. And then eventually we find out, and I'm not even kidding, this is where the kind of rando yada yada stuff kicks in. It very much becomes a yada yada thing. Apparently Baron Zemo was killed by Captain America, if I remember correctly. And this book references that, it shows us that. But somehow he returned at one point, we're not really sure how. But Silver Sable is kind of bringing that up at certain points to Spider-Man once he comes into the story, like 20 pages into this 64-page book called Spider-Man Fear Itself. But Silver Sable is tracking this like Amazonian-looking chick. She's really muscular, kind of fit, but kind of ugly in the face. She kind of looks like Tina Turner's haircut too. She meets up with a ninja who, when they do close-ups of his face, I'm pretty sure he's like a white guy with blue eyes, dressed up in a ninja outfit, but his neck is like exposed. It's really stupid. But he's wearing like a white ninja outfit, and he's apparently some kind of mutant that can make himself invisible, right? Not a totally awful idea, a little sporadic, but not completely a bad idea. And this fucking ninja is kind of hired on, if you will, by this Tina Turner-looking broad with the weird hair. And Silver Sable tracks them because the White Ninja is asked to go and break into, like, I think it's a Norman Osborn building or Oscorp of some sort, to break into that and steal some crystals, right? that have some weird ability with gases and shit if they're, I guess, crushed down or something. I don't know. The crystals were weird. Didn't really make a whole lot of sense. It's a comic book. It doesn't have to. But this is the thing. He gets away with those crystals. And then we have Silver Sable try to work with Spider-Man when he comes in to try to catch her and her team, because they have it on camera, since the ninja is invisible, that it was just her and her team stealing shit, right? So Spider-Man gets roped into this. Peter and Mary Jane, I guess they're kind of newlyweds. I don't really know what was going on at the time. You don't really have to understand the story. But they're like living with Aunt May, and that's like a new thing recently, and Mary Jane doesn't really like living with Aunt May. I never really got full context for that. But she knows he's Spider-Man too. Mary Jane, not Aunt May. But it kind of becomes this, again, I've said the word random, and I really mean that. I'm going to go into a couple of things here soon. But it kind of just becomes absolutely wacky. And I know comic books are wacky, right? Like, that's kind of the fun of them. They can be sporadic, they can be random, they can be adventurous because of those things. That's not what this is. This shit is so hilariously bad, so unintentionally bad, and it's like halfway through the book, the art gets worse and worse in design. Like, Spider-Man will try to, like, shoot a web at somebody, or at something, and, like, it looks like he has arthritis. Like, I tried to bend my fingers the way he does at certain panels, and there's no damn way that my young man hands can do that. So, like, the art doesn't even fit there. But, like, there will be poses where he's posing his legs weird. Yeah, it's so goofy, dude. The White Ninja, to get back to him for a minute, he also has the ability to, like, make you think things, make you think you're seeing things. There's this hilarious scene that somebody like Peter David would have made so cool and so fun, where, like, there's a panel in a scene where Spider-Man is seeing all the people around him in these fake visions that the ninja's making him see. He's seeing all these visions of people's face in a very ghostly way, and some villains like Green Goblin and Doctor Doom tell him how much of a failure he is, how awful he is, all this shit, right? But then he's sitting in a tree, like a dead tree, during, like, the fall. And there's another Spider-Man. It's him in his black symbiote Spider-Man costume. It's his, like, conscience, but it can actually beat him up. And it's sitting beside him, and it calls him a wimp. And it's one of the funniest, most unintentionally funny panels I've ever seen in a comic book. But then, it gets better, right? Towards the end of the issue, some other stuff started happening with this Baron Zemo thing, right? Like, I don't want to go into that too much. It's too awful and stupid and funny that, like, you gotta read this if you haven't read it before. You've got to. It's so bad, dude. However, there's at one point that this Tina Turner-looking chick that hired the White Ninja and stuff, she's bald. I'm not going to tell you why, but she's bald. And they take her hair off. She takes her own hair off and stuff. And at one point, when she's fighting Silver Sable, she looks in a mirror and doesn't like that she starts to see herself turning into a monster and decides she's going to kill it. Do you know what she does to kill that mirror monster that she thinks is herself actually transforming, but somehow believes that she can also destroy the mirror monster as if it was its own thing? She headbutts the mirror until it breaks. You know, there's like concrete stones behind this thing, and it destroys it. And I'm not fucking kidding. Like, the next page, Silver Sable and Spider-Man are standing in front of the blood-covered wall. And I'm not even joking. This shit had me laughing so hard, dude. This is what woke my wife up. Silver Sable is like, and the Spider-Man shows up. He's like, what's going on? What did she try to do? Silver Sable's like, she tried to kill herself by destroying what she saw in the mirror, but she actually did kill herself. And Spider-Man looks at the blood, and then he's like, oh no, this blood will help us find where she at least went. And I'm sitting here thinking, is she dead, Silver Sable? You're like an assassin. What the fuck? How do you not know? Why did you phrase it that she killed herself? Right? Like, that's what the phrasing was. This feels like it was on a time crunch and it didn't get finished. right? I'm not even fucking kidding. The next panel, they turn around and like 10 feet away, the blood trail that Spider-Man says that he and Silver Sable should follow to be able to find this bald chick. Not even kidding. They turn around 10 feet behind them and look, and she's standing there, and she hits the wrong button on a machine that causes a machine within this building to self-destruct because she has, quote, too much blood in her face. Dude, bro, I never thought in a million fucking years, looking at the really nice cover for this book that I hope I can find a picture of to put on the cover of this, review video. I never thought in a million years that this book would somehow simultaneously juggle Spider-Man, Hitler, World War II, Baron Zemo, fucking Silver Sable, bald chick who has some weird ass twists to who the bald chick is. That still doesn't make any sense to me. Even for that time at comics in 1992. And I think this is pre-Clone Saga, by the way. How it juggled all of these things and a white mutant ninja who also is apparently like a white guy, but some of the jokes Spider-Man makes at him don't even make sense. They're kind of racist, but kind of not. Like, he calls the guy Godzilla at one point, and it's not because he can like grow into some big massive monster or something. It's not like that. Spider-Man's just making Asian jokes. I swear to God, I'm not even joking. This is not me being racist. The book is fucking weird like that, right? It is such an awful piece of shit read that I'm just shocked. I can't believe that Gary Conway wrote this. I just can't believe it. With some of the art, even though I don't even know who Andrew is, I don't think I've ever read anything from Ross Andrew, for that matter, art-wise. I mean, I cannot believe how lazy some of the art pictures are later on. And like I said, that panel of the two Spider-Man sitting together and the symbiote Spider-Man mocking the regular Spider-Man, calling him a wimp. Dude, it's like unintentionally bad. Like when you look at some of these panels here towards the second half of the book, I was in shock. I cannot believe how bad this was. And like, I started looking at Goodreads, right? And I started finding out there was like a series of like one-shots that are considered quote-unquote Marvel graphic novels. There's so many comics out there of Batman and Spider-Man, and now I want to read those. I don't know if they're on the Kindle, but I want to read those. I genuinely cannot figure out what's worse. This terrible-ass issue, one-shot, whatever we're calling it, or something like Spider-Man Octogirl, the manga that I reviewed like earlier this year, volume 1 of that. Dude, this was so just filled to the brim with random, stupid, so bad it's good shit that I don't even know what to call it. I can't believe this exists, right? Like, I don't know. If you've read Spider-Man Fear Itself, this 1992 one-shot graphic novel, whatever they're calling it, if you've read this, please, for the love of God, put your thoughts down below and let me know what you think about it. Is it as bad as I think it is? I've got to do some massive amount of research now that I've got this review out there to see what other people think about this. Like I said, I saw the Goodreads reviews. There's not many of them, but most of them hate this book. The ratings are really, really low, like an average of 2 out of 5 stars, which is hard to do on Goodreads. Something has to be really shitty and old and shitty to get that kind of rating on Goodreads. But like, I gotta go other places. I've got to go to like Reddit and stuff to see if anybody else, or even YouTube, if people have anything posted about this. I can't believe this exists. It is the funniest, one of the most unintentionally funny things I think I've ever read in my life. And again, shocking is the word to use. So anyway, what do you think about this? Have you read it? Do you think this is worth the money? Did you buy this and put it in your collection? Be honest. Did you? Did you? Can you imagine some kid trying to get into comics and their favorite hero is Spider-Man, and they pick this up with the really kind of cool, ghostly looking cover it kind of has, and they read all of the shit I just talked about with you? I don't think I would ever read another comic if this is the first thing I ever picked up. I mean that. So anyway, thank you all. God bless you again. Have a great weekend. And I'm going to go to bed. Goodbye.